Hello guys, welcome back to another Keeping Goals. You join us in the car. Frankie's on the camera. Woo! We are currently doing the very scenic drive up to Scotland, up to Glasgow, to go and see our friends at Kaliaaer. The last time that we were home, we did that video. We went up, we showed you Kaliaaer HQ, showed you behind the scenes. We're going to go and see Kenny and the guys again, show you a little bit of something different, and also, as you've probably worked out from the title, there are going to be some special guests there as well, which is very, very exciting. We always look forward to our trips up to Scotland, don't we, Frank?
We do.
Even more so when it involves goalkeeping gloves and goalkeepers. Make sure you sit tight, enjoy the episode. I've got a feeling it's going to be a good one. Let's get to Glasgow. So the first thing that we've got to do is we're going to go meet Kenny. We're going to go to a studio here in Glasgow because we're going to do a little bit of filming for Kaliaaer. We'll see if they have some new gloves as well. I've heard a rumour that there might be a few unboxing of some upcoming pairs, in which case Franks will get you the behind the scenes video clips to see before anyone else. But we're going to head there now, meet Kenny and get playing with some gloves, which sounds like a fun afternoon.
You excited?
I'm very excited. We've got some things over there that we can't show you until tomorrow. But they're very cool.
So Netflix, isn't it?
That's good.
And we're back at the Airbnb. Pretty cool for day one. A little bit of promo shooting with some new glove models, which will hopefully be coming out soon. Anyway, tomorrow we're heading back to the studio, and I think day two is going to be even cooler than day one. So I'll see you in the morning. So, day two. We're heading back to the studio after a nice breakfast in Glasgow, in the sun. After all the promo shots yesterday, we're going to do a little bit of stuff, making videos about frequently asked questions. And then, very exciting, Joe Hart is coming down this afternoon. Now, Joe is also sponsored by Kalia, and it's been a pretty good partnership so far. Since he joined Celtic and joined Kalia, he's gone and smashed it. They won the league last year up in Scotland, and Joe was a massive, massive part of that with his performances. It's also very exciting for me because I've always been a massive Joe Hart fan ever since I was younger. My friends know, Frankie definitely knows, when I was growing up as a goalkeeper, he was someone that I used to love watching on and off the pitch and took a lot from. So it's a little bit surreal that we're going to be doing some work together today. But the plan is he's going to come in, do some promo stuff himself, and then hopefully we're just going to get a bit of time to chat goalkeeping and nerd out a little bit. So a very cool day, should be good fun. Looking forward to it.
Lit.
Really?
Jimmy Taylor, I was playing at City, he was free. I used to watch the clubs every day.
I can't remember where I saw it, but I remember you talking about it and you were saying the nail brush. And I was like, nah, surely not. Because you know what I mean, like the nail brush from Boots, and it takes it right off. It's brilliant.
And now he steals all of our nail brushes, so
Yeah.
constantly
5
getting
billion
them.
nail brushes. When you were Umbro.
Yeah.
So I started my YTS at Mac. So 16, 17, and you were Umbro. So I got Umbro glove, Umbro shin pad, Umbro boot for starting the YTS. I still wear the Umbro shin pads. Like one of the straps has come off.
I've just changed my Umbro pads this year.
Really?
Yeah.
I tape it up, you know, like soft tape.
Yeah.
Because one of them straps come off. Like I'm still taping them up
So
to keep it on.
The first time Umbro did a kind of slip in, you know when they started doing like a sleeve and you slip in.
Yeah.
So I must have got them. They're definitely 12 years old.
Every teammate I have is like, Conor, you need to get rid of them. They
Stinking
the place out.
You still got the big
I'm like,
pads
no.
on them? You still have the big ankle bits?
Yeah, got the big ankle bits on it.
Really?
Yeah. Honestly, 10 years old. It's from when I was 16, I ain't changed them.
Wow.
So when you do Kaliaaer shin pads, I might change them. Because when you said on the podcast when you went to Birmingham and you were still just kind of shop window mentality, how did that attitude change when you went back into City? Was it still, I'm just going to attack it, I'm going to destroy it?
I didn't think anything.
burn it up?
I can't, honestly, it's not until really later in my career, especially I'd say late 20s, where I actually thought about anything.
Yeah.
I just went at it. No problem. Like even now, looking now, I was 21, and I realised that Mark Hughes, he wanted to sign a goalie. You know, City had been given a lot of money. He had endless people he could take on. Even then, I was like, he didn't understand what I was asking, nor the goalie coach wasn't asking. I was like, I get it. If you're going to move me on, it's fine, but you just tell me. And obviously, the politics of football, again, they're no different to any other manager that I've really dealt with. You know, we're not.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, really, just tell me.
Yeah.
Because then I'll work something out. And then obviously Shay came in, realised that from that moment on, my only communication was, I'll do what I need to do, but then I need to go. But City at the time were doing 4 or 5 year deals for anyone, and they'd ironically just given me a deal and then bombed me off. So I was stuck in a deal where I was never going to go on a permanent. So I was just like, I'll go to Birmingham. In fairness to my agency, they got it done. I spoke to Alex McLeish probably 2 weeks after they got promoted. Obviously he needed a conversation with me because he needed to know who he was bringing in, and I went. We got on, and he said, "Cool, I'll see you first day training," and then just went for it.
And you'd already played Premier League games, so it wasn't as though it was kind of, I'm going to show that I can play in the Premier League. But was it I'm going to go in, I'm going to keep Birmingham up, or was it I'm going to go in and pure kind of selfish goalkeeper focus, I'm going to just destroy it and see what happens for me afterwards? Or was it a mix of, just go and play football and enjoy it and not think about future stuff?
It's exactly the same as I've always been. I didn't think about anything other than I'm going to go and play for Birmingham. I'm going to try and get in the Birmingham team. I always have that thought process. Nothing is going to be given to me. I'm going to try and get in the Birmingham team, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
It wasn't try and bounce out, try and impress these, prove that I could play in the Premier, because I don't feel like I could prove that. You can't prove anything.
No.
You just live and play, and whatever happens, happens.
And then even the same when you went back to City after that, same headset.
It was strange.
Different.
So Hughes left midway through the season. Mancini came in.
And then it was World Cup in the summer as well.
Yeah. Mancini came in. Shay... Mancini, I don't think, gave Shay enough time or respect. I think he had a preconception that he was a smaller goalkeeper and it wasn't for him.
Yeah.
But Shay's awesome. Shay's
brilliant.
a wicked keeper. But Roberto had a preconception and he felt like he had to do what he needed to do. Again, that's none of my business with how he and Shay worked. But then I was obviously doing well, and he was made aware that I was his if he needed me to be. And then I was making plans to leave. My plans were to leave. Again, not in any. I wasn't upset or angry. It was, well, it's not going to work there. So I'm
football.
Yeah, and then I think Shay got injured. Stewie was injured. And then with 3 or 4 games to go, they were chasing Champions League for the first time, City were. and they were allowed an emergency loan, and so Roberto contacted Birmingham to see if I could come back. And I was like, so I spoke, but we were kind of in our position, our best position that Birmingham ever finished. And it got mentioned to me, and I went, keep me out of this. Like, if you want to do a deal, and I have to, and I play for City last 4, so so be it. Or if Birmingham need me, and Birmingham, to be fair, stood their ground. They said, look, you can have him back, but we're 9th, which is where we were, guarantees us this money in the Premier League. So if you can guarantee us the
difference.
I think the potential was to drop 3 or 4 places. If you can guarantee this so many million difference we get, you can have him back. And obviously City were like, no. They took Martin Fulop, who sadly passed away. But so that was when I thought, hang on, they might actually want me back here.
And did that change when you were playing after that, knowing that was a potential thing, or did you still
just
feel the
forgot
same?
About it. It was nothing. I was back at Birmingham trying to do what I set out to do, and then but it meant that I was going to because I'd gone on loan. Probably I'd gone on loan, but I'd had I think two messages from Manchester City as a club to check on me, but. There was
tick the box.
It's certainly. I'd imagine if you were to read my career, you'd be like, oh, they sent him out to guarantee games
and getting back.
But it wasn't. I was gone, and it was the club was just moving fast. They couldn't afford to worry about loans, and that's not okay. But that's how it was. But then all of a sudden it was would you come in and meet the new manager? He wants to sit down with you. So I was like, yeah, cool, of course I will. I'd be stupid not to. I sat down with him and he said, look, I don't want you to go anywhere. If you will come back and do pre-season with me, I'd love an opportunity to see you. And, obviously we've got Shay. I'd love an opportunity to see you. If you give us that, we'll give you the respect of an honest decision by the end of it. So I was like, why not?
And then when you did come back, we were talking about this before, the Tottenham game at the beginning.
Oh, it was laughable. It was cringy.
Unbelievable. I watched it again before, just to remind myself, because I still remember it at the time. I remember watching Match of the Day, and it was, like you said, coming back into City, that Prem ball for some reason always reminds me of that game as well. Yeah. And I'm watching some of the clips, and they're hitting stuff that they had about 3 shots from the edge of the box after corners, break down, looping volleys back in, which you never have anyway. And just insane game. So, like you say, laughable in terms of just one of them freak things.
Yeah, it was almost awkward with the timing, and it was because me and Shay, we played equally pre-season, and Shay's love Shay, love him as a goalie, genuinely looked up to him as a goalie, loved him as a person. Yeah. And we went into a flip of the board the morning of the game of who was going to start.
That's mad.
And then it's me, so obviously great. Shay put his disappointment aside, like we all have done at times, and he knew he had a conversation pending with the manager to go. Yeah. And then literally all those saves happened in the first half as well.
I remember.
They weren't in the second, and I
said before, I'd watched about 2.5 minutes, and it was just half time. I thought.
I think after about the 7th, I was readjusting my head, and I was just shaking my head. I was like, this is just stupid now. And there's a funny clip of Shay laughing on the bench, just saying, I don't think I'm going to play the next game. If one of those go in, 2 of those go in, things are different. But
and like I said, even growing up a United fan, just watching that, I loved watching you play for how you played the game, and those type of games. We go on about it all the time when it's outfield players or whoever scoring hat-tricks, man of the match performances. I don't think as a keeping union we celebrate those type of performances enough. I mean, it obviously got a lot of credit, as it should have done. But when you're watching it, growing up, trying to become a goalkeeper and learn from it, even though they're freak, even though they're kind of rare, those are the ones that you watch it and you feel that love of playing in goal from seeing someone else doing it and enjoying it and living it, because you're thinking, geez, how insane would that be to have those games? And then you go and try and do the same when you're playing on Sunday or Saturday or whatever.
But that's why I'd love the one thing for people to, obviously I'm not long for the game, and I'd like to think that I've always played because I love it. I love that half an hour, that 45 minutes was just the best. Some of the best players about, just smashing balls at me. Yeah. It was White Hart Lane. It was first game of the season. It was hot.
Defoe nailing it at you from about 6 yards out.
Yeah, the atmosphere is unbelievable. Kind of new teammates who, you know, the guys who come in respectfully, they probably didn't even know if I was any good and it was, you know.
They did after half an hour.
Yeah, it's all those kind of moments and, you know, it was good. It was fun.
Which would you pick out of that one, the Barca one, the Dortmund one? If you were playing one of them again tomorrow, which would you, just to play it again?
Well, Barca I can't because we lost. So we lost that game and we lost that tie.
Yeah.
Dortmund I loved because we got a result.
Yeah.
But and some of them saves were big. But I think importance-wise, that Tottenham one was mad because to know what happened afterwards, you know, that stuff wasn't on the line. It wasn't like if you do this, you are then going to go on to play for England. You are then going to go and win this. But in hindsight, like there was a lot on the line in that game, and it went well. So
it's probably best as well you didn't know.
Yeah,
isn't it? It's like
100%.
lose, it's just that's what makes it horrible when you know you've got everything to lose
Yeah.
rather than you've got.
And some
nothing
people
to
build that
lose.
up anyway. Some people create that feeling of potential.
I think in
future
goal,
stuff playing.
that is it happens to everyone. But if you can avoid that conversation in your head, like you really do need to simplify things. You really, really need to simplify being in goal. You got to remember why you're in there. Loads of people ask me for advice on goalkeeping, and when I was younger, I used to struggle to give it because I'd try and say something technical. Now I don't say anything. I just say go and goal because you want to go and goal. It's the only way you can be good or enjoy being in goal is if you want to be there. All the rest of it's up to you. Different size, different shape, different attitude, different outlook, but you've got to want to be there.
And being in that present moment, not creating anything in the future, whether that's in the second half of the game or 6 months' time or whatever, that moment, taking it fully, whether that's on a park or whether that's in the new camp, exactly the same.
Agreed.
But it was the same when I was, like, I found growing up watching you, we were talking about this before, it was nice to see a contrast of keepers at that time that would keep goals in different ways. That's always something that I found quite, because when, obviously, like you said, you had the Schmeichels, you had the Oliver Kahns, I suppose Seaman was very different, Seaman was laid back.
Yeah.
But seeing how people like yourself versus Casillas versus Buffon versus whoever, I think as a generation that was able to start seeing different styles of keepers, see different people take on the role in different ways. It wasn't a one size fits all, like you say, in terms of body structure, in terms of mentality, in terms of whatever. You could find different people to relate to in different ways. And I found the way that you led as a player with the way that you were vocal with teammates, the way you had your own presence in goal, that gave me a lot of motivation to try and do the same, whether that was with school coming through or my club coming through, or when you eventually go into a pro game and you're with someone who's 34 years old and you're a 19, 18-year-old keeper, you might feel overwhelmed by that. But actually, if you're watching people like yourself and thinking, actually, he does that with anyone he's playing with, that's something that I can take from. And I think, like you said before, the ability for my generation to see those different, that width of breadth of keeper, but you don't recognise that at the time when you're playing, because you're just playing your career. Yeah,
and what you're referencing there with being around people, I've always kind of been how I've been in terms of vocal, but I've always thought that, I only think of it now, I'm not a stupid young kid who's just going around trying to save the ball. But the only reason I felt confident to speak to people was because if it ever really came to it, my explanation is, look, I'm trying my best to help you. Like, any information I'm giving or any kind of change in my voice tone is, the only change in my voice tone would only change out of urgency. It wouldn't be to hurt you. The loudness of how I'm saying things is to be clearer. The reason that I'd speak to one person more than others is because I was trying to help them. So,
well, it's our job. I mean, it's cliche, they say it all the time, but you see everything. And I always find my mates at school will be watching this and laughing because they used to just be like, Conor, shut up, man. Like, let us play. And I'm like, well, I'm trying to help you. Like, I can see this, I'm trying to do this. If I don't do it, that might mean that you can't do something as well, which then might mean the ball comes to me. And we're trying to work as a team with it. But I think when you're in school, you're just trying to do it to learn how to do it. And
Yeah.
I think, my mates definitely took the brunt of it at school.
I still get it now. You know, we play. I don't hear myself when we play now because it's so loud. But
Yeah.
you know, pre-season I notice it the most. We're playing behind closed doors games, and I'm just thinking, wow, I just rabbit on, and I know people laugh, and I get in front of it because I can't help it.
Yeah.
It's me. So.
And I found when I moved abroad and played abroad, that was different altogether. Like the English clubs that I've played with, the English players kind of got it and they understood it. But when I was playing in Spain or when I was playing in Sweden, they're giving me looks like, who is this guy?
Like being in the crowd, and he'll be shouting, and you can see people just watching him like.
Yeah.
But you don't think about it. You're not thinking about the crowd. You're not thinking about anything else. You're trying to help your team in the game, and that's how we've learned and grown up doing it.
And you can give info to someone and they can fully blank you. Like for 95 minutes, they can fully blank you.
It stresses. The thing that stresses me out is when like we're getting ready for a free kick and Conor's like shouting
the wall.
move, and they're just blatantly not looking, and
Yeah.
like, we can all hear you.
Yeah.
I've always gone with saying someone's name over and over.
Yeah. Until they look at you.
Yeah.
But usually the person that's ignoring you is someone who thinks they can do what they want.
Yeah.
But they're also conscious that they don't want to be seen to be doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So if you're ringing their name around,
The whole ground.
people are then looking at them. So it's not a good look to just kind of be not interested in what someone says. So
Nah.
yeah, I name and shame me.
Other things that we spoke about it before. We were talking about. I remember watching you and trying to chew gum, training or playing, and I think that was the upper limit of the Joe Hart things that I could take into my game, because I nearly choked about 3 times, diving and swallowing gum. What you said somewhat. The doctor told you to stop.
Yeah, my doctor, he obviously told me not to do it, but I was going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
He asked me not to do it, and I respectfully said I'm going to do it.
Yeah. No.
To the point of when I realised that he was actually genuinely worried for my safety. And I just said, look, doc, it's on me. It's completely on me. This is my decision.
Where did it come from?
I don't know. I think, the Premier League's sponsored by Wrigley's. So it was always available. Like, big, so you know, like when you were buying from a shop, you'd get like a big pack.
Yeah.
So it was always available. And then I just kind of thought, yeah, that'll do me. And then I kind of chewed, and so I'd take a pack and I'd take a little reference point, so I'll go back to my goal, drink, change chewing gum.
You change within halves?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I'm doing like doggies. And then I've got like, obviously gloves, so I'm kind of undoing it like that. Yeah.
Next bit.
Yeah.
The other one was the glove push.
Yeah. That is...
Has that wrecked gloves, or is that...
No.
You just like the fit of it being tight?
I don't bounce, I put them together so
push.
And push.
Push, yeah.
Just always wanted them as tight as possible, and obviously growing up I didn't have the luxury of, I couldn't buy gloves, I didn't buy gloves, so I kind of took what I could get, and more often than not I was getting them from a senior keeper who was a lot bigger than
lads,
me.
yeah.
So, and then when I got to doing what I wanted to do with Umbro, and they were helping me, that was all I wanted. I was just like, I want it tight, and it's got nothing to do with football. But I always loved the clip hearing about Mike Tyson going into the ring and trying to rip his knuckles out.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm not trying to punch anyone, but I've always wanted it, and I've always done it. Just tried to pull. I want them tight. I want to feel.
But even like watching the England training coach, because that kind of started when you were playing, that was a joke. That was the ability to watch you guys train. Obviously, incredible from a technical point of view, but it was almost like you say, every kind of rep.
In between volleys,
resetting.
If I get to 2 volleys that are sharp in a warm up, I have to have a quick check.
Yeah. And it's like you say, it almost becomes a mental reset.
It would definitely be my tick. It would definitely be my tick. Like I'd do it without knowing it. I'm obviously aware, but I'm just constantly. I just want to be pushing as much as I can.
Well, let's have a look at these as well, because the actual promo of the new Kaliaaer gloves that you have coming.
Yeah.
Probably part of that is what you said before about trying to get that tightness of the glove.
Yeah, that was.
Is that something that you've tried to build into it?
Yeah, that was something that we worked on, and I don't
Have a look. Tell me as you play.
I don't necessarily know what I like, so I'm not the easiest to work with. I'm not a very visual kind of guy, so I couldn't. But I know what I know.
Yeah.
So we were
From
kind
feel.
of we were working on it, and I wanted it as tight as I possibly could. And the boys came in with the concept of, because obviously you can't have it too rigid at the back to have it tight.
Yeah.
So with
it's almost like the sponge on the backhand.
Yeah, but it locks out for a punch. So but yeah, I just want tight grip. I put it in their hands. You know, I was asked what palm.
Yeah.
But I'm quite respectful of. I know what I know how to do, and I know that other experts know what they know how to do. So I said, look, the palm's in your hands.
Yeah. And with the cut, you like the.
Yeah, it's like
the mix
negative
of the two,
roll.
the negative in the middle of the roll.
Yeah.
See, that doesn't work for me. I've got a funky finger.
Yeah.
So the little finger that kicks out.
Right. Okay.
I always struggle with that. So I always go all negative.
Mine kicks out a bit.
Yeah, you've got a bit.
But
to be fair, that's
that's decent bending, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a big one.
But that was kind of my, and the wrist. I was interested to know why the wrist seems to be changing so much on gloves recently.
Yeah. As in the wrist itself or the strap?
The strap, sorry, the strap and the wrist. Yeah. And, interesting response that it was just the way the world's working and you don't want to be left behind.
But you were probably one of the first that did the latex strap.
Yeah.
That's one thing with like the JH on it, like Butland with you when you were at England. That was one thing that was always common of when watching those England things. I remember thinking, that'd be sick if they had a latex strap with the
I've just always loved
black
it.
and white.
Always loved it simple. I just want the glove to be simple. Obviously the tech side of it needs to be eye-catching. That was one of the things when I was saying when I was growing up as well, when I used to wear a glove and boot combo. I said, I don't care what colours you do, just combine the two.
Do you like the
if
matching?
possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
I push for that quite early.
I've always had black boots.
Yeah?
Yeah, my dad and my granddad, when I was coming up, my brother was flaring. My brother played outfield.
Yeah.
So my brother, they were like, yeah, okay, you can wear what you want. But they were always like, Conor, you need to wear black boots. And then this year we were playing, because we mainly play on Astro, we were playing on grass. The only studs I had were white. And all I could think walking out for the game is my dad and granddad are watching this back at home and I'm wearing white boots. But I know what you mean in terms of the combo of the glove and the boots. Like, when you get them matching, it feels really nice.
Yeah, now I like the short sleeve, the boots, the gloves. But I just feel, I don't know what you feel when you put that on, but that just feels right to me. Grip feels
it's really nice.
I want it tight. I think it looks good. Simple. I think simple is the way forward.
Do you prefer the white versus the colours, or do you like mixing and matching?
I like white palms.
I
like white palms. So I've enjoyed wearing these. These have gone actually really nicely with the kits thus far that I've been wearing with Celtic. In terms of the colour, as I say, the white palm's the most important thing for me. Everything else I'm kind of down to roll with. Yeah. But I do. I'm from an era where a white glove is an ideal glove.
Yeah, I'm with you. Because you mentioned that with Celtic.
Yep.
Was it the first game you wore it? It was the cup final.
Yeah.
How did you feel going in, changing gloves before a final? Was that something you were nervous about, or were you? Because obviously you'd worn them going into it before in training.
I hadn't worn them much. We were working. We were trying to find the best fit, and obviously it was far more important that Celtic won the game than I managed to wear a new pair of gloves for the final. Yeah. So. But
you want to look good, play good, feel good.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff.
But I loved the ones I was in. The night ones were top gloves.
Yeah.
And I'd played the start of the season in them and enjoyed playing in them.
Yeah.
And just timing-wise, obviously, ideally, we were starting. It was the fit and the style, and we were just getting there. And we literally just got there probably 3 or 4 days before. I had them in my hands.
Yeah.
And it was a crazy busy schedule. So it was game, training, recover. Game, recover, training, game, recover. We were just in that period. And right until on the day of the final, I warm up in a pair and I play in a pair. So I had 2 pairs of Nikes and I had 2 pairs of Kalias.
Sitting in front of you.
Yeah, and it was obviously, it's not a big decision, but that was a huge decision to me to do that.
Yeah, 100%.
Because, it was a final, any game's important, but this was, obviously we wanted the maximum kind of hit with it, but at the same time I had to respect what I was doing.
Well, it shows how much you trusted it.
Yeah, I really did. I really did. But, you know, if I didn't trust it, I wouldn't have even had a decision to make.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing.
And then I was like, you know what? I believe in what we're doing.
Yeah.
I believe in the boys. I'm gonna.
No pressure.
Oh yeah. And I believed in myself to wear them, and
Yeah, 100%.
I believed in myself to, because I've always had it in my head. Like, I don't have superstitions. I don't have anything.
No.
If my gloves didn't turn up, or I didn't bring any gloves, and I had to borrow the lad next to me, or borrow someone from the crowd, I'd do it. I believe in that I can do that.
And a lot of it is going on your gut, I think.
Yeah.
I think that with, like you say, with superstitions, you don't want to have anything that you're hanging upon to guarantee your success.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going on what you're feeling is right, how you're feeling in the preparation for it. It's the same for the Aquavator.
Yeah.
I had one in a game this year, came and it was chucking it down, and I had a new pair that I hadn't really worn, and in the warm-up it just didn't feel right, you know, and it didn't quite feel right. So I went back and I got my training gloves out, which were kind of not falling apart, but not what you'd normally take for your game.
Yeah, I get you.
And used a little bit of this for the wet. And I think if you had superstitions, or if you had preconceptions of what you had to wear or what to do, that could throw you off for the full thing.
Agreed.
But if you're going on what you're feeling and you're trusting your gut in the moment, that's always what I've found the best way to do with it. Have you tried this one?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I used to use Vaseline every day.
Did you actually?
I did. Casper. When I was in between Umbro, I was finished with Umbro, and then I was wearing all different gloves. I was trialing them pre-season, and this kind of this Vaseline rumour was around, which I was like,
I've never done it, you know.
I was like, it can't work. Like,
No, I was like, I think
it completely doesn't make any sense. And then Casper was with Precision, and he went, will you try my gloves? I was like, of course I will. And he went, put Vaseline on them. And I thought, if he's wanting me to use his glove, and that's what he's telling me to put on it, so, and I trust him anyway, like I'm close to him. So I did it, and I never looked back. Done it and then...
Does it affect the other keepers that aren't wearing it?
Do you know how it affects them?
With the ball?
So they do it, the lads, I've had loads of lads not wear it out of principle, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But then as soon as they see me touch a ball in training, I see them go to the ball and start smothering it. I'm like, well, why don't you just do it, because you know it works. And then the boys brought that in, and it's been trial and error, because I was just putting it on, and it kind of bounces off your glove, doesn't it? And I was never really comfortable having a wet glove. Now I just got a process of I'll wet my gloves probably half an hour before, so they're not ringing, but they're wet. I'll squirt. I used to put it on whilst I had them on, and it was just, honestly, it was everywhere. Now I just...
Yeah, I did it before a game and got me in the eye.
Yeah, it's everywhere. I just smother my whole place. So I'm spraying them now, rubbing them in hard.
Yeah.
Then I literally fight into my glove. I look like a lunatic when I put my gloves on. So I fight into
shoulder.
Then I'll smash them together, and I'll have one more pump, then away. No matter the weather, no matter what's going on, I wear them, and they really do work.
Class. Well, I think that's enough goalkeeping geeking, but thank you for coming on, mate.
Oh, pleasure.
Absolute pleasure. I think loads of people will get a lot from it, so.
Good.
Thank you very much.
No, we'll do it again, all right?
100%.
Cheers,
Thanks for that, Joe.
A big thank you to the guys at Kaliaaer as always, and a massive thank you to Joe for his time. I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation. Very cool to just nerd out a little bit, chat about goalkeeping, cover loads of different topics, and I'm sure there's loads in there that you can get some value from. If you are interested about the gloves that me and Joe were talking about, they are being released very, very soon on the Kaliaaer website. They should be coming out early October, so keep your eyes peeled on the website, on their social media, and as always, with anything from Kaliaaer, you can always use the discount code O'Keefe to save yourself a little bit of money on them. I'm excited for you guys to try them. They are very, very cool indeed. And to celebrate the release of Joe's gloves, and to celebrate this video as well, Joe very kindly donated to us a pair of his match-worn gloves, signed by him, to be won by one of you guys. And all you have to do to win it, just drop a comment down below. Comment something nice, something that you took away from that chat with Joe, something you found valuable, anything at all. We want to say thank you to you guys for supporting us, for getting the channel to this stage that we can do stuff like this. And Joe has very kindly decided to help us with that. So comment down below, be in with a chance of winning those gloves for yourself. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button, If you haven't already, click subscribe, come and join the Keeping Goals Union. This will definitely go down as one of my favourites. Thank you so much for watching. Look after yourselves, keep chasing improvement as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, speak to you in a bit.
Happy?
Lovely. No, I'm not. I don't think I've spent.
This tea was lovely, by the way. I just had it there for show, and
good,
I was going all the way through. I was like, oh yeah, I need to ask a question.
Did you get that?
No, I didn't. Maybe next time.